1 minute.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Our meeting will end in 1 minute.
Right. Sweetness.
Can I get you some? Oh, wow.
Yeah, sign in your brother's names too.
How are you, lovely lady?
All right, we're here. How are you?
Kathy, right?
It's okay. It has a Y in it. Yes.
Do you spell it with a Y or a
I can't stand having to make it into dots.
Keep it simple. Very good. Hello. Something It's either or.
Yeah, you can do either or, but I prefer.
I think the Y is more common anyway.
That looks like a good fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? I want to keep going. There you go.
Okay, that looks like I crossed it out.
See? That's a purpose here. That's a purpose.
Okay, she just got your foot. Okay. I gotta write my intro. Jessica?
Remember your role?
Yes. We have an extra. The meeting is adjourned.
Yay!
See you next week. Thank you all for your participation. The Best Speaker Award goes to Jonathan Dunn. Just for April Fools. Best Evaluator tonight, Gail Smith. Thank you. Wow, we didn't go over time. Best Table Topics. Let's hear it from Frank May. Award, yet another time, Lynn Ayers. The Tim Chastain Award for individual who made an outstanding contribution to the meeting. 2 people. This meeting couldn't have happened without Stephen Morgan and Jessica Guthrie. Lynn, do you have the agenda for April 10th?
It's right here, honey. It's supposed to be Micki.
Alrighty, our Toastmaster will be Gail Smith. Jessica Guthrie will be the speaker. Susan, Table Topics Master. Jonathan Dunn, County Guild's Evaluators. I will be the timer. Stephen Vermarion, Micki vote counter. Let's see. Denise, Matha, and Frank will be unavailable. So we need someone to do educational moment. I need another speaker and general evaluator.
Thank you.
I'll do educational moment. If that's okay.
Sure.
Gail, do you have a theme for next week?
Our tax burden day. Our theme is tax burden day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you.
That's a good one.
All right, who wants to be a speaker? Speaker, don't speak. Everybody don't speak at once.
Yes.
Carl, would you like to speak?
Next week?
Yes.
All right, I'll do it.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles.
General Evaluator. Help me out. Pat, thank you. Odd counter.
Let's pass it around and.
Okay.
Yeah. Kathy.
Okay, great. Patty, hey, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Go ahead.
Alrighty, everybody's signed up. Great, thank you. We'll just keep continuing for the following weeks.
Are there any other announcements? I have an announcement. Some of you were here for the March 6th regifting auction. Yes?
Yes.
And guess who has the winners for that evening that never got handed out? All right, most improved, Lynn. Thank you. We gave 3 Best Speaker Awards. 3rd place went to Pat Stodner. Whoa. 2nd place, Lynn Ayers. These are real awards. 1st place, Best Speaker, Toni Giddles. A reminder that officers are looking for assistance, and please check with your favorite officer about what you can do to help out. The handout, Lynn's waving her hands. There's a handout at your table. It says Mardi Gras in the middle, and it's green, and on the opposite side is information about the officer roles and duties. Just to remind you, the elections are still a little bit less than 2 months off, but we really need to get you thinking about how you'd like to participate in the club. Thank you, Jessica. Now I'll turn control of the meeting back to our president, Gail. With my general evaluator's report, it was great that we started the meeting on time. Our thought and pledge was perfect on cue. It was really wonderful, but Charlie, it was strange that you had the hiccup, so you need to you might have to drink a little water before you come into the meeting. Our speakers were well prepared. Our table topics master, a little bit odd match of questions, but I'm not sure if everyone was following what was going on there, but we'll see how that, maybe next time the table topics master can pick better questions. And our evaluators, great use of pros and cons. Lynn, I loved it when you pounded on the lectern to make your point. And Gail, you had very good gestures considering it was an evaluation, except the part where you stuck out your tongue. I think you could probably skip that. Other than that, I thought it was a great meeting, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. And may I ask for our grammarian's report?
As the grammarian, I have chosen the word of the day, which is precious, having keen judgment or wisdom.
Who used
I will
it?
keep track of all those.
Who used it?
What?
Grammarian.
Who used it? This is your
I used the
report.
word of the day.
It's the end of the meeting.
It is.
It's your grammarian's report.
Oh,
Make it up.
yes, well, let's see. I think I heard Gail use it. And Toni. And the closest interview that I had was, Gail said, we had fun until Daddy took the tea bags away. Toni, she said, I have spoke with tons of angels. Jonathan, I have to make sure that I have your name spelled right, so give me a minute here. I'm using my sequacious judgment. Strangers in the night exchanging glasses. What were you thinking? So we have how many species? Lynn is a grammarian. You don't mind being part of this, do you? Joy, she used the word of the day as well. And then she was telling us about when a man loves a walnut. And I do believe that most everyone from my notes, Micki, she used the word of the day as well. And I think that's all I have for
And now Pat with our grammarians report. Thank you for that all counters report, Frank Bag.
Pat, thanks for going after me. Toni Giddles with 3 O's. Just Ruthie with 1 Gail, you had 1 and 2 likes. Lynn, you had 2 so's. Jonathan, 4 ahs and 1 like. Pat, you had 1 There's no Grim Reaper here. Micki, you had 2 ahs, and Stephen, you had 1 so. That is the report for you.
And now we'll take a vote for best evaluator. That's what would happen. Thank you for that timers report, Toastmaster. Who's our timer? Susan Morgan.
I had Gail, who came in right under the minimum at 3 minutes and 27 seconds. And Lynn, she managed to get all of it said and done for 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
And I really thought that was a wonderful evaluation from Gail Hill-Smith. Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. And welcome. How exciting is it tonight? Tonight's theme of the meeting, April Fools. So we've been doing April Fools, what now, for 3 days? How fun. But I want to not elaborate it so much on the April Fools, but rather on the fun, till Daddy took my tea bags away. This project that Jonathan Dunn had to deliver came from his advanced manual, Specialty Speeches. It was Project 3, and you see on the agenda, thanks to our Toastmaster, that included all the objectives that he was to fulfill. He talked about the face, and I loved his PowerPoint presentation. However, Jonathan, I do feel that you had a few too many slides. I don't know, I believe that they were pretty canned. They were already available to you. I don't think you personalized them. But how you personalized them was by bringing in a live prop and having Charlie Baudelaire work with you. And what I thought was even more particularly great with the use of the props
was how Charlie was able to transition himself from a male to a female with the prop that you have. Simple device, Toastmasters, simple device. We always talk about positioning ourselves if we're going to be in character play from one side to another, but the use of this prop, all Charlie had to do was just put it on and take it off as he transitioned into the roles that Jonathan had him do through his presentation. There are a couple of things for both of you that I would like to comment in hopes that all of us will benefit for our future speeches. The advance, the timer, like the controller. I would like to have seen it used by maybe Micki rather than by Frank to help advance your slides, your presentations. Rather than Micki's taking secretary notes, she's quite involved. So to have transferred the duty to somebody else. Past that, I enjoyed your presentation. Charlie, you look great in feathers and beads. Madam General Evaluator.
Help me welcome Advanced Communicator Silver Gail Smith. Gail, we will be evaluating the third project in Jonathan Dunn's specialty speeches. He mentioned that he wanted a closer evaluation of his body gestures and vocabulary while meeting the 4 objectives he has been challenged to fulfill this project's purpose. And thank you very much for that wonderful evaluation, Lynn Ayers.
Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially Toni. Thank you for your lovely speech, Toni. You have developed very rapidly in your presentation skills, and you have already reached an acceptable, even admirable standard of delivery. Project 2 focuses on speech organization. Your speech was very well organized, with an opening that grabbed our attention and engaged us by asking us a question. Do you remember your first home? You had 3 supporting points in your body which define what makes a house a home, as well as the symbolism of owning a home. And you transitioned smoothly from one point to another. Your conclusion reinforced these points by summing it all up in a lovely poem. The variety you achieved with your voice was which fascinated us with its melodious variety of pitch as you used those lighter, higher sounds. Was awesome. You used the different tones appropriately for the content at the time. Congratulations. I thought your variety in speaking speed was excellent. Your normal speed was steady and slow, which helps with clarity of articulation. You varied that at times with quicker passages, and once very effectively with a very, very slow, measured delivery when you were speaking about your feelings of how your dad started out penniless, but worked hard and was able to buy your family's first home when you were only 4 years old. That was a dramatic. It grabbed everyone's attention tendency occasionally to wander around in what appears to be an aimless, unplanned way. I recommend that you practice standing quite still in a balanced, relaxed manner like this. Do that for the whole speech. Then, when you can do that instinctively, introduce planned movement, which will reinforce and enhance your content. Lastly, I loved your animated facial expression. You smiled a lot, you frowned, you looked worried, you looked fearful. The expressions were always appropriate to what you were saying and reinforced your words powerfully. I will remember for a long time the way your face changed from worry to total delight when you were describing how your parents struggled to buy their first home. It was terrific. I commended your variety in pitch and in speaking speed. I commended your speech construction, your introduction, body, and conclusion. I recommend that you work on practicing standing still. I praise you very highly for your animated facial expressions. I can't wait to hear your next speech, Toni. General Evaluator.
Please help me welcome Lynn. Since May 2012 and is also a member of her company's club, FIS Toastmasters, which was formed this year. She has very much enjoyed being a part of Toastmasters and is excited and honored to be the evaluator for Toni Gittles this evening. My role as general evaluator this evening is to introduce our evaluators and also take the opportunity with our functionaries to evaluate our meeting at the end. So let's get started with our evaluator, shall we? Thank you for that introduction, Stephen.
April fish! I hope you've had an opportunity to learn plenty about your April Fools today. But I should leave you with the parting one. For those of you from Scotland, if you ever get the message handed to you, it'll say something like this: dinna laugh, dinna smile, hunt the gap another mile.
Okay.
Well, my role is done, so I have to now introduce our general evaluator. Someone you're quite intimately familiar with because she's already been up here a few times today. She's been very excited about getting this backwards meeting going along. So excited she forgot about her anniversary, so excited she got to go work for a few days, so excited she only gave me one introduction, so this is the one that she gets. So please welcome Jessica Guthrie back. And that was a fun bout of table topics. I hope that you enjoyed those and that you had a lot of fun putting them together on the fly, even more so today. Thank you, Jessica.
Everybody please vote for table topics. I will turn control of the meeting back over to Stephen. May we have a timer's report?
Charlie spoke for 2 minutes and 10 seconds, so he qualifies. And let's see. Frank, he spoke for 1 minute and 2 seconds. And let's see. Which child should I pick on? Oh, they're all not trying to do it. Emma spoke for 45 seconds, so she doesn't qualify.
I don't.
And Joy, she spoke for 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, who all else was here? I can't read my list very well. And that will be that. That's my
I think you forgot Micki's time.
Oh, that's right, I did. Micki spoke for 1 minute and 25 seconds.
And that concludes our table topics. That sounds absolutely delicious, Charlie Bombalier. Sounds delicious.
Oh, table topics. My Easter Bunny chocolate bar was absolutely delicious. I only got to bite the head off though because my kids took the rest. And my dog. Dogs are not supposed to eat chocolate, but my dogs can. And they do, when they get a hold of it. And quite frankly, I like white chocolate. I don't know why I like white chocolate, because I rarely have it, but I do like it. I prefer the dark chocolate. And this is a very odd table topic. But those little Easter eggs are good too. Little chocolate. And quite frankly, I gained about 3 pounds over Easter. That's a no-no for me. But my friend here, Jonathan, is going to work me out really hard and make me lose the rest. Madam Tabletop.
What is your favorite dish to cook? Charlie Bombalier. That is quite an embarrassing moment, Frank Bay.
This is actually quite a very moment. I have no idea where to begin. In my travels, I've always run into different cultures and different business perspectives. So it's always kind of a scary moment when you have to introduce yourself to other cultures in a business setting. I guess the biggest embarrassment for me was actually having to go to Australia. And one of the things that they don't do is, let me rephrase that. One of the things that they don't do in Russia is they don't fold their legs, because it's actually very rude for you to show the soles of your feet in Russia. I didn't realize I had done this, and I offended them, and I was quite embarrassed. So in my future travels, I'll remind myself to actually bone up on where it is I'm going and what the customs are. That was an embarrassing moment.
Tell us about an awkward situation you experienced at work, Frank Bay. And I must say, I do think you have wonderful style. Toastmaster Joy.
life. I always hear that expression, the best things in life are free. I think of the stars, the moon, the clouds drifting in front of the moon. I think of happiness, beautiful smiles that radiate from faces, and all the things that create that radiance in people. And the best thing is love. Of course, we love babies. We love our moms and dads and our cousins and aunts and our friends. But romantic love is very special. And I've heard that song by Michael Bolton. I believe that's the song that made Michael Bolton the famous of all. When a man loves a woman. Yeah. And that movie with Andy Garcia and Michelle Pfeiffer was about a couple who were deeply in love, and they had trials and tribulations in their relationship. And the title of that film was When a Man Loves a Woman. So the best things in life are all around us, and there's no price you can put on those types of things, especially romantic love. Madam Table Topics Master.
How do you choose the outfits that you wear to work every day? Toastmaster Joy. That sounds like a fantastic vacation. Emma.
Stuff in your mouth does not save you.
Just say now.
Can't do that now. Well, basically, I'm going to go to vacation here and go on camp. So this might be a little different. On one of my vacations, we went to. I'm gonna need a little help, guys, because I don't remember road. What? Got it. Yep. I didn't stay here, darn it. Okay, so we went to Yellowstone once. Actually, I think up here. This is a little weird.
According to the timer, you only talked for 45 seconds.
Oh yeah, we were traveling in the car. Was that when we went to Utah, Los? So we got. So I do believe in that trip we got stuck in like the middle of the desert. Like something happened to the SUV, so we had to be stuck there. The mechanic though had really cute dogs. They're I forgot. Oh yeah, truck names, man. What was it? Do you remember? What? Mac and Peterbilt. Their names are like church or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we would get them and play with us once, or let them play with us once, or us play with them and stuff. So that was really fun. We were also like watching the stars one night. It's really pretty. And we finally got to Yellowstone and did a whole bunch of things there. I don't remember exactly. Because, oh God, it was how many years ago now? Like 3, maybe? 4. 4 or 5. I'm not 19! Get out of here. Well, that's all I got. Yeah, that didn't help at all.
What is the craziest trip you have ever taken?
That was pretty crazy.
That really does sound fast. Toastmaster Micki.
We have a friend who's a cop, and it was very difficult for him to get to the police academy because he had so many speed fines and his file was pretty bad. He had to wait for 7 years in order to be accepted to police academy. He used to drive a Ford Mustang Standard, the same with my husband, and he loved to race, and he loved to, the second one. See how much the engine can get to. After he came home, one day he saw my speed, my radar detector in my car, and he was like, "Why do you have a radar detector?" And I said, "That means you speed up when you drive." And I said, "Look, this is not something that you never did. It was very difficult for you to become a cop just because of that. So don't you even dare to give me a hard time because I have a radar detector." I know that he told me that one night when he got a speeding ticket, right after he left, because when he pressed the gas, it was so fast that the cops stopped him and gave him a speeding ticket. So it was like 100 yards, they stopped him and gave him a madam.
Tell us about the first car you ever owned. Okay, let's get started with table topics. My role tonight as Table Topics Master will to be providing questions and giving everyone an opportunity to speak a little bit about that, and gives everyone an opportunity to learn to think on their feet. I'm really excited about table topics tonight. It seems a little random, but I think we'll have a lot of fun. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Our Table Topics Master this evening joined Toastmasters way back in 2001. There's a way to make someone feel old. Because I started in 1997. She's feeling a bit discombobulated today, just a bit backwards, so she's hoping to get things back on track and in the right order for table topics. Please help me welcome Advanced Communicator Silver Jessica Guthrie. Some people take April Fools a little bit too seriously. The Polish in particular apparently take it rather seriously. On April 1st, they are conducting various hoaxes, often prepared in some cases by the media. And the whole point is for them to make it sound credible, and sometimes even the government gets involved. In fact, it gets to the point that the instinct, the conviction is so strong that when the anti-Turkish alliance with Leopold I was signed on April 1st, 1683, they backdated it to March 31st, so people would actually realize it was for real. The things people think of. So as to not overwhelm our vote counter, and so that you don't lose track of what may have been stuck in your head, I'm going to ask for the actual timer's report for the evaluations and the table topics at this point. Madam Timer.
Charlie spoke for 1 minute and 4 seconds, Emma for 2 minutes 23, Frank for 1 minute 23, Joy 1 minute 17, and Micki 1 minute and 32.
And the
So
evaluators.
everyone,
Did you count? The evaluators?
yes, for the evaluators, we had Gail at 3 minutes and Lynn at 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
So did not qualify.
She doesn't qualify.
Okay. Thank you. You may take the best table topics slip off of your informal evaluation sheets and cast your vote for best table topics. Our vote counter will be around to collect those. And while I'm at it, I should also ask for the timer's report for our speakers.
Toni's required time was 5 to 7 minutes, and she spoke 7 minutes and 29 seconds. So she just got right in under the wire. And Jonathan's required time is 10 minutes and 12 seconds, and he spoke for 11 minutes and 43 seconds.
Thank you for that speech, Mr. Dunn.
Hey, Frank.
Oh, you were serious?
We must follow proper protocol. Thank you for this little word, Gail, Frank. Good try. Yeah, just the space points better. These are actually real I feel like I'm stuck in the movie Inception right now. Like you have decided that earning $500,000 per year for the rest of your life is for you, and you like that idea, and you even like better the idea of using this technology on your face and finding yourself caught in this song repeatedly over and over again. Strangers in the night, exchanging glances. Glasses, whatever. Earlier in this presentation, Mr. Bombalier experienced this Stevie award-winning technology. That's the Grammys in the business world for those of you who aren't aware of that. Charlie, would you like to just briefly stand up and tell the audience how the right side of your face feels compared to the left side?
First of all, Jonathan was very sagacious in picking me as a subject because if you can fix my face, you can fix anybody. And quite frankly, it feels very tight. It feels like it's stretched out. And also, it feels smooth like a baby's bottle. Thank you.
And if earning $500,000 per year sounds like the right thing for you, yet you're saying to yourself, I don't have a silver tongue like Mr. Dunn up there, I want you to be aware that our motto of Team Awesome Global, in alignment with New Skin, is we are the difference demonstrated. And when you use the technology, and even a personal trainer, my background can do it. Ooh, that's not working out so well. I was trying to assist you people in seeing that a picture is worth 1,000 words. You let the products do the talking. In fact, statistically speaking, and I want you to think about your own job that you are involved in right now. Can your company make the claim that they create a new cash millionaire every 4 days? That's what we are currently doing. In fact, we are on the New York Stock Exchange. These are the annual average incomes for 2010. They are published. You can look up and verify what I'm saying. And while it is not easy, it is well worth it. And I'm going to try doing this again, even though I know it's going to end up being terrible. But when I first saw this slide when I was deeply in debt, you guys know the story, my eyes went right over to the right side of the screen to the $568,920 per year average. And I said to myself, certainly those people don't really exist. But, once again, New York Stock Exchange, if you care to look up and verify what I'm saying, you will find that there are over 1,000 people worldwide who are at that level. I'm actually at the level 8 there. And how do you get there exactly? Is it by selling people something they don't want? Making them feel uncomfortable? No. The pay that I earn is in direct correlation to the amount of service that I render to somebody that has goals. I hate when that happens, Frank. Please try again. And again. Oh, man. It's usually me with a little clicker button that's on there. Frankie, just go ahead and hit escape. Gosh, that probably won't work either. This is turning out to be a debacle, because I really have no idea what the next one is. You know, I was just telling somebody earlier today, I love my MacBook Pro. It never has any glitches. But moving forward, as Ringling Brother and Barnum Bailey's always said, the show must go on. We're going to proceed. Where exactly, I just don't know. Gail, I don't think your off part was enough. So, anyhow, you're sitting in a Toastmasters meeting right now going, this guy, oh good, thank you, Frank. This is probably going to come out wrong, but you were Asian, I knew you could get it fixed. You're saying to yourself, this can't possibly be real. I mean, I was told to go to college and get a job. But you know, if you look at the Social Security Administration statistics, 1% of the population actually ends up wealthy. That's pretty pathetic. So, we were featured in Forbes magazine as the 5th most trustworthy company to align yourself with. That was a 2010 award. As I said earlier, we have literally won Grammys for our technology. And most of our technology does not even utilize batteries, as Charlie is rubbing that around in his face right now and showing you what it looked like. The Motley Fool, who is a leading stock analyst firm, they call us the Apple of the anti-aging world. And somehow, in the worst economy that any of you have ever known, unless there was some of us around in the Great Depression, which I don't think, looking at any of you, that's adequate, we grew $250 million last year. We are global, currently in 53 different countries. That is actually an old slide. And how do we do it? As I said earlier, we are innovative. They took a group of mice and they said, why are some mice skinny and some mice fat? I mean, a mouse can't go to McDonald's. And they discovered a hormone inside the mice, called leptin. And they also have decided that as we get older, our metabolic rate declines. So in 2013, we have a brand new category of weight loss coming out. It's going to be the only genetic weight loss products available in the entire world, and it's patented. It's projected in its very first day to do $500 million in sales. It's going to be a product launch that actually rivals the iPhone 4S. We have innovative products for the inside and the outside. Once again, Charlie, does that feel pretty innovative for your outside?
Absolutely.
And as far as the inside, for another meeting at a later date, this little gizmo right here, we call that the biophotonic scanner. It was invented at the University of Utah. That's the same university that invented the very first artificial heart. It's the only way, non-invasively, in the world to measure your carotenoid score. It's such a fascinating test that Dr. Oz got wind of the technology and profiled that machine on his show to illustrate how poorly Americans eat, as your carotenoid score is directly correlated to the balance of your diet. Statistics. I love statistics. The little device that Charlie used was released in 2009. Upon its release, it did $5 million in sales in the opening year. So we knew based upon that number when we had our next innovative release, which was called the Transformation Kit, it did $17 million in one day. Then, a year later, we released something called the Body Spa. I know Toni there has seen that. And in one day, it did $100 million in sales. So when you saw the gamma slide and I projected it to be 500 million, it's based upon those statistics. Sure hate those. And who is behind all these products? Why? It's New York Times bestseller, scientist who's been profiled on Discovery Channel several times, Dr. Joseph Chen, who previously worked for Big Pharmacy. But then he watched both of his parents die within the same year, one gracefully and one painfully. and he wanted to know what the difference was and how he could make it to where everybody could die young at a late stage in life. All of our product science is based upon what Time magazine calls the greatest discovery of all time. These are not my words, these are not Nu Skin's words. These are the words of Time magazine, and that is called epigenetics. So when anybody has ever uttered the words, I'm bound to be heavy because my mother was heavy, or I'm bound to pass away at 50 years old because my mother passed away at 50 years old, we know that that's just absolutely not the truth. So when Ponce de Leon, who incidentally, I have no idea what anniversary it is, but he came to Florida looking for the Fountain of Youth. It was, what was that, Stephen? Maybe you would know, 500 years ago. We know that the Fountain of Youth is within us, in our genes, in our youth gene clusters. So how does this all apply to you actually making money? Small business is the backbone of the U.S. economy. Yet, with banks, it's harder and harder to get loans. So where else could you go out and create a revenue stream for yourself that pays you and your heirs the rest of your life, the number that I mentioned earlier? And all these people have these ideas to go out and start their own business, and they try to create and invent trends. Well, right now, this past year, anti-aging accounted for $250 billion globally. There was a person, a baby boomer, turning 65 every second right now. And we know what they want to spend their money on. And anti-aging and dying young at a late stage in life represents what will be the next $1 trillion market in the United States. It's the size of an iPod. It's not invasive, it's not painful. Charlie, did you feel anything? No. He literally just rubbed it on his face. I gave him almost no instructions. And while his face is not perfect, he doesn't look like Kenny Rogers. For any of you that are familiar with Kenny Rogers, he looks like a circus freak now. It just pulls out all the gunk that's built up in there for years and years. It restores elasticity to the skin, and it infuses antioxidants into the dermal layer of the skin to prevent free radical damage. One more, Frank. Maybe one more, Frank. As I said, anti-aging by 2025 is projected to grow to $1 trillion. And those are not Nu Skin statistics. For any of you that are contemplating owning and operating your own business, you get with your accountant, you get with your CPA, you get with an attorney, they're going to tell you to explore whether or not your business is actually going to be viable so that you do not fail. And in any business, you want to explore, are the trends in your favor? Are your products and the science that you're bringing to marketplace relevant? Is it patented? Are you protected? No matter what business you start, you're going to have partnerships with companies. So are your partnerships ethical? I remember when I got my first job out of college, and college was expensive. And a lady sat across from the room from me. You will all find this hard to believe. She told me I was worth $30,000 a year. When you align with us, we ask you what you feel you're worth. And we move forward from there. And then lastly, timing. Timing is everything. We're going to $1 trillion. Would you want to start an 8-track company right now? Mr. Toastmaster.
Make sure to give a minute so that everyone can provide feedback on the informal evaluation forms. Anyone who provided the sheets in front of you have spaces to write any feedback you wish to give to the speaker. If you have any thoughts, provide. We'd love to get all the feedback that we can. desire to be part of an overpowering community of friends and family on a more full-time basis, wanting to discover the fountain of youth, have unlimited finances, or be able to go wherever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, as the person you have always wanted to be. You will want to shut off your cell phones. I know separation anxiety. A reminder for those of you who love them on. Take out a pad of paper and take some notes because our next presenter, Jonathan Dunn, is going to share with us tonight at Central Florida Facilitators precisely how to create this as a reality. So put your hands together for the master, Jonathan Dunn. April Fools is not just a Western phenomenon. Iranians also play jokes with each other on the 13th day of the Persian New Year, which is called apparently Nowruz, which happens to fall either on April 1st or April 2nd. Coincidence or not, I don't know. But it sure was a great speech that we got from Toni. Thank you, Toni.
Do you remember your first house? What actually made it a home? Finally, consider this poem, If Home is Where the Heart Is by John McLeod. If home is where the heart is, then may your home be blessed, a shelter from the storms of life, a place of rest. When each day is over and toil put in its place, your home's dear warmth will bring its smile to the saddest face. Do you agree with this quote by an unknown author? It takes hands to build a house, but only hearts can build a home. Sometimes, if you drive by at just the right time, you can catch me sitting in my car in the driveway, looking at and admiring my home. It's my security, my refuge, my comfort, my symbol of success. Jasmine, my Snow White Maltese dog, always there to jump and yelp and welcome me home. You can probably understand why I never found it unusual when I used to catch Dad sitting in his car in the driveway, looking at and admiring his house. This was his great achievement. He had made it in a world that did not always seem friendly. Mom and Dad grew up in difficult times. I'm getting a little woozy here. My dad was put in an orphanage as he approached his high school years. He had no money, was abandoned by his family, and became determined to make something of his life. He began full-time work the day after high school graduation. No wonder he delighted in being able to afford a house. Not only was it expected of a young man to provide for his family, the house was surely a symbol of success. To me, every house we lived in was a mansion. The next one bigger than the last. Each house had its own history, its own stories, its own memories. Some were good, some were not so good. But they were memories. What made it a home was that Mom and Dad were always there for me. There were the friends, the neighbors, the family that gathered in the yard for picnics and barbecues. There was the first needlepoint pillow that my mom ever made that sat on the chair, and the Afghan that she crocheted that lay over the couch. One of Mom's many creations. Thanksgiving dinner brought the smell of Grandma's apple pies all through the house. In the front of the house, in Skokie, Illinois, was a trellis that supported a climbing rose bush. In one of my tomboy moments, hard to believe, I know, I discovered I could climb to the top of the roof using that trellis. Oh my goodness. Dad was supportive of my shenanigans. He'd always wanted a boy, I was a tomboy, it really worked out well for him. Much to my mom's dismay, "Get my daughter off of the roof before she hurts herself," she screamed. She screamed? Okay. Dad smiled. "She can make herself useful. I'll have her clean the gutters." "But she's my only daughter. I don't want her to be hurt. Get her down," cried my mother. So Mom was not comforted by Dad's being okay with my craziness. I didn't mind my new chore. As for a 9-year-old, this was an amazing adventure to be able to climb up on the top of the roof and clean the gutters, who cares? I love sitting up on the roof. Although you couldn't see the top of the treetops on the 4th of July, you could see the fireworks in the distance. Dad always had that smile on his face when we bought a new home. He was proud, he was happy, he was successful. Our second home was in Skokie, Illinois, a neighboring suburb. The 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage had a full basement. This house seemed ginormous to me. Over their lifetime, Mom and Dad bought several houses. For Dad, at age 34, you said horror, worry? His first house was clearly his castle. To my mom, it was her queen for the day moment. We were living the American dream. Later, Dad added a small garage. Finally, the large white concrete slab patio was enclosed and became our cozy family room. We all gathered after dinner to watch the black and white TV with awe, anticipation, and enchantment. I was 4 years old in 1954. The house, typical of its time, was about 800 square feet. It cost $19,000. Wow. There were 2 bedrooms and 1 small bathroom. My parents were meticulous at saving money. With a smile he could no longer conceal, one day my dad approached Mom and he said, "Honey, we can afford to buy our first house." I have spoken with tons of angels. To have been lucky enough to have such sagacious parents who were so successful. My mom, now 95, says buying and moving in her first house was a joyous, memorable event. Do you remember your first house? What made it a home? Mr. Toastmaster.
Take a minute more and provide your feedback to Toni on her speech.
Quite a challenge.
That was.
actual times for the speeches being made.
Yes. Jonathan spoke for 12 minutes and 25 seconds. So he qualifies. Just under the wire. And Toni, 7 minutes and 13 seconds. So she qualifies.
Both speakers qualify. Yay! Take the best speaker ballot from your sheets there and write either Toni or Jonathan on it. Our vote counter will be collecting those votes. Okay, July 30th, 2004, her award Toastmaster Competent First Toni Giddles received. 3 awards Communicator Competent achieved Toni has since. Your speech organized. Number 2 project from Communicator Competent Manual, or 5th working as Toni tonight, is Heart Where the Home Is, presenting Toni Giddles. Welcome, please. Now, the Western world has managed to export April Fools to other parts. In fact, the British apparently managed to export it out to the Philippines at one point. And it's evolved now to where a prankster marks a victim with the color yellow, some powder or paint or ink, I suppose. Sometimes even painting a version of Poisson d'avril as a yellow fish. And it's a good thing they haven't started doing that around here. At least not yet. Thank you, Pat, for that very educational moment.
Fellow Toastmasters, our educational moment today is lectern manners. The lectern or the podium, which is it? The lectern stands where the notes are held, and the podium is a raised platform. But if you actually look it up in the dictionary, they would say that the podium first and the lectern second. You guys can argue that one out. For us, this is a lectern. When you approach the lectern, you should approach in a confident manner and always shake hands with your host. If you're carrying materials, you want to make sure that you have them in your left hand so that your right hand is free for your handshake. And if you have both hands full, you need to put that down first. Again, you should appear confident and prepared. If you have a pen or eyeglasses or any of that stuff in your hand, you need to put that down and not be using that. And then you welcome the Toastmasters and honored guest. When you're leaving the lectern, you should not actually leave the lectern, period. You should leave it in good hands, is really what I wanted to say. It's never proper for a member to abruptly leave the lectern after speaking. If you are about to relinquish relinquish control of the lectern, always stay at the lectern until the next person arrives. The host, not the next speaker. Then take your place. Shake hands with the host, pick up your materials, and then relinquish the lectern. If you must cross paths with the host who has just approached, step back, walk behind the host, never walk in front of the host. Then walk directly back to your seat. One other thing I'd like to mention is that you might want to stand squared with your feet a little bit apart so you kind of don't do that rocking back and forth. If anybody does that when they're nervous. And that is all I have for today on our educational moment.
Please welcome our Sergeant-at-Arms, Pat Steigner, as she provides us this week's educational moment. I hope you realize how important laughter can be, and especially, if not that, realize how a meeting like this can really make you think and stretch a lot harder. The fact that we're actually following our structure just in a different direction means that you have to almost think twice as much. And that is part of what you want to do here. Part of it is learning to be able to adapt to different situations. In many cases with table topics, we're always trying to think on our feet. Here's our chance to think really fast on our feet. and laugh at and have no problems with screwing it up. That's the best part about Toastmasters. Thank you, Micki, for describing your role as the supervisor of elections today.
As vote counter, I will pick up your ballots for best speaker, best table topic speaker, best evaluator, and most improved speaker. I will tell you the results for award presentations at the end of the meeting. I will also pick up any comments you might have written for the speakers or any meeting participants and deliver the comments to the appropriate person. Thank you.
Our supervisor of elections today, Micki DeMentrescu. Thank you for that description of your role today, Frank.
My job is to keep track of audible crutches such as and double clutches. The repetition of a word while the speaker searches for their next thought. I will also deliver sentences strung together with bridge words like and or so. It will sound a buzzer when any of these infractions are heard. The fine for each infraction is 10 cents. Guests and members who have not yet done their icebreaker will not be buzzed or fined, but I will keep track of their infractions.
Frank May, please describe your role as our counter today. Thank you, Susan.
One of the skills Toastmasters practice is expressing a thought within a specific time. As timer, I'm responsible for monitoring time for each speaker in each meeting segment. I will operate the timing signal to indicate to each speaker how long he or she has been speaking. For our prepared speeches, to qualify for voting, speakers must speak not less than 30 seconds under their range minimum and not more than 30 seconds over their range maximum. I will turn on the green light at the minimum range, the yellow light at mid-range, and the red light at range maximum. For table topics, to qualify, speakers must speak at least 1 minute and no more than 2 minutes 30 seconds. For evaluations, to qualify, evaluators must speak a minimum of 1 minute 30 seconds and a maximum of 3 minutes 30 seconds. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Susan Morgan. If you recall that her final presentation for Distinguished Toastmaster was the seminar on mental flexibility. That's exactly what you're getting here tonight. Madam Grammarian, thank you.
As grammarian, the chosen word of the day is sagation. I will keep track of those who use the word of the day. Those who have a chance to speak and do not use the word of the day will be fined 25 cents. Guests and members who have not yet given their icebreaker speech will not be fined. I will also listen for colorful imagery and exceptional use of vocabulary and grammar. At the end of the meeting, I will report on grammar uses and suggest where I see improvements can be made.
Our grammarian this evening, Pat Stugner. Before I get into our technical table, I should make the corrections to the agenda. Amazingly, everyone showed up. I was actually very worried about that because a lot of people hear the backwards meeting and go screaming the other way. But there is one to actually correct, and that is the educational moment, the actual title being Lecture and Manners. That was all I had for the changes.
What was the title for Jonathan's?
I never actually got it, so we're going to find out as we go.
Okay.
April Fool's Day can be traced back quite a ways into history. Amongst the earliest examples are the Roman festival of Hilaria, which was held on March 25th, which at one time was also the New Year, the first day of the New Year. There's also the Feast of Fools, which is held on December 28th, which is actually these days held in Spanish-speaking countries most often. Exactly how it evolved to what it is now, we're not sure, and we're not even sure exactly why it ended up being April 1st. One possibility was New Year was March 25th, a week later was April 1st, but different parts of the of the world would actually celebrate a new year on different times. When the calendar shifted, some started changing on the new year on January 1st. And then they were trying to make fun of the people who celebrated on March 25th. And we don't exactly know. All we know is what people like to do on April Fool's Day, play all these silly jokes, try to trick people, laugh at them, and hopefully everyone takes everything with a good attitude. Anyone had a good April joke played on them?
I had a really bad
A really bad one played on them. Sounds like a good idea for a table talk. We shall have to see. Another common practice in Italy and France and Belgium, children and adults will, for April Fool's Day, go around and try to tack a paper fish on the back of each other's, on each other's back. And they want to do it without anyone noticing. Then they point at it and yell, "April fish," which, for example, in French would be Poisson d'avril. I don't know why it's April fish, but for some reason this is their tradition. I wonder if back in time they actually tried to use real fish. That might have been a bit more interesting. But there are many examples of April Fool's jokes going back into time. There's, on April 1st, 1698, several people were tricked into going to the Tower of London to see the lions being washed. There was a recorded by the Flemish poet Edouard de Denay in 1539 about a nobleman who would send his servants on foolish errands on April 1st. And there was also, even back in 1508, a French poet was referring to Poisson d'avril, the April fish, which is actually their version of April Fool, being written in one of his things. Why we ended up with what we have now, we do not know. All we know is that we try to make things zany, silly, strange, and to make everyone look like a fool, like we have done tonight. Thank you, Madam President.
Please welcome our Toastmaster for today, Stephen Morgan. Sleep about, we are not sure, but once in a while he breathes, we think. Their 5 children, his wife Susan, book, movies, board games, singing, and the internet, Stephen pursues interests, also in imagining free time what he can. Website hoster, repairer computer, trainer NLP, trainer hypnosis, and hypnotist professional, Stephen is by night. With computer associates, developer, expert Java and engineer software, Stephen is by day. Okay. I am the president.
Good thing we're not drinking.
Let's vote for most improved before I forget that, and so we can get Micki busy counting ballots. So all of the Toastmasters who had any speaking role at all, or even not, are eligible for most improved Toastmaster. So please get out your ballots, and Micki will come by to pick them up. We have some club business. Jessica, is this a good time?
Yes.
All right, great. We actually have 3 new members and a 4th in the wings, I think. Not ready yet for you. Tivodian, 3 members Tivodian. 3 new members, that's right, Tivodian. Dennis Phelan, who is actually unable to make our meetings for a while. Frank Bay and Patty Herrera. Frank and Patty, I'm gonna ask our Sergeant at Arms to escort you outside while we take a vote to determine if we really want you. You don't get to defend yourself or anything.
I'll bring in more food.
Yes, you can bring more food. All right, any last words, Frank, while you step out the door? come in. You're not a member yet. Not official. We didn't have time to get you signed up. So we're do I hear a motion to vote in Denise Phelan, Frank Bay, and Patty Herrera as members of Central Florida Facilitators?
Hello.
So moved.
So moved.
Beat ya.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Let them in.
Let them in. Anybody else? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? That wasn't much. That was like 2 people. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
This vote carries.
The vote carries. Sergeant at Arms, you can have somebody go knock on the door and let them in. And Jessica, you have, Lynn, do you have the pins?
I gave them to Jessica.
You gave them to Jessica, so we are totally prepared. Please stand and welcome our new members. Turn the meeting over to Jessica Guthrie, our Vice President of Membership.
I'm going to read to you the pledge, the Toastmaster's promise, and you read again to say I do. That's until though, right?
We can see I do now. I'm going to do this backwards.
That's do I.
As a member of Toastmasters International in my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all my speech and leadership projects to the best of my ability, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, and to maintain honest and highly ethical standards during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. As new members of Central Florida Facilitators, do you agree to these for the promise? I do. All right, great. Members of our Central Florida Facilitators Club, will you please stand? You, as members of the Central Florida Facilitators Toastmasters Club, promise to support these new members, provide honest and what's the word I'm looking for? Honest and what is this? Helpful, sincere, all that good stuff feedback. And to support them in their Toastmasters journey.
I do.
We do.
All right, thank you, and welcome to our newest member.
Thank you.
Welcome. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Can't back out now. No refunds. We do have some guests here tonight. We have a number of guests here tonight, and I would like to ask all of our guests to stand for a moment, and we'll go through and just have you quickly introduce yourself and tell us why you're here. Can we start in the back? You're a return.
I'm Carla. This is mine. Very short.
Yeah.
I'm just a bit busy, but I'm still thinking whether I'm going to join, but I will love to join because I really love the group.
I'm Toni McIver. I feel I should say that it's Sayokaga's decision to hang out at Toastmasters. And for the guy who mimicked the Scottish accent, I had no clue what the third line was either.
Thank you for joining us. Joy, how about you next?
I'm Joy Insatiri, and I am a member of a sister club, the Dr. Manuel Toro Spanish Toastmasters Club. And before I became a member of that, though, I visited your club years ago, and I've often just periodically visited your club because I really love your group.
You have a wonderful atmosphere of friendship, and I always have a wonderful time here. And I've often thought about becoming a member here, but it's just time and not overbooking everything. I'm always glad to visit in and get a whole great refill.
No, we'll take your money and you don't have to go. So that's clear. All right, the fearless foursome here.
I'm pretty sure maybe 80% of this room
Yeah,
already
but you
knows
look
why
different
we're
every time you come. Recognize you. It's not fair.
Just say
We're-
your names. I'm Emma.
Eric
Tristan.
and Philip Hancock. We are the children of.
Let's see, who is my mother?
She's one of these people in the room.
I actually know your name.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you for coming. All the way from California, right? Enjoying your spring break. Let's see. Welcome to Central Florida Facilitators Toastmaster Club. The name Facilitators was chosen for 3 reasons. Three, to facilitate means to make things simple and easy. And we want to make things as hard as possible tonight. Forget the name. 2, a good facilitator needs to be a strong communicator and an effective leader. And Toastmasters International is all about, what is it about? Oh, communication and leadership. I have to wander, I forgot. 1, we are sponsored by the Central Florida Chapter of the American Society of Training and Development, the premier organization. 4, professional facilitators. Okay, there are awards. There are real awards. Did I miss anything? No. She screamed! Get my daughter off the roof! Okay, I was absolutely right on with the Tim Chastain Award. You have your awards. Please stand up, Jessica. Now, all of you are trained and developed to be Toastmaster and General Evaluator next year for the next meeting. So, you don't go next week, you don't go run and hide. Most improved! I was right on! Lynn Ayers! Oh my God! Best table topics! Free! We don't even have to do this! Best Evaluator! Gail
Like I said, I was under time.
Best Speaker! Sorry, I got the award. Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, no flag? Okay, no flag.
Don't be a queen on April Fool's Day. Will you please stand? Where's our flag?
Apparently we don't have one, in which case we wouldn't do it.
Okay. That's it.
That would be mine.
Sorry.
In a few short minutes, I will start this meeting. The mission of the Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop oral communication skills and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. If anybody has anything that makes noise, on your left side. And I will now turn it over.
Call the meeting order. Call the meeting order. Call the meeting to order.
Oh, I thought I did that in a couple of minutes. Okay, meeting's to order.
If you have leadership manuals, please return them, or basic manuals. Officer meeting, officers. Fridays.
Can I ask you a question?